This week, coming up from the ashes.
So, and that's farting. That's what you're tasting.
Sure, like that day that turd rolled down your leg. That's what it.
That's what you tasted.
That's what I
That,
felt like I tasted at least.
that's the ingredient they put in it. They
So,
went to the future and grabbed Zombi's meatball turd. Went back in time. Put it in there!
Oh my gosh. So I think I got our cold start.
So, I know we've all had those moments at night, laying in bed trying to sleep. What is the one thing that sticks out the most? Oh man, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Embarrassing moments, baby. The date is April 29th. Welcome to From the Ashes. I am your host, Arsonist Clown. And with me are my two buddies, Phoenix and Zombie. How about you guys say hello?
Hi, I'm Phoenix.
Hello.
And today, we're here to bring you something quite different today. A new subject, I guess you could say. And that is just shooting the shit, really. And what better way to introduce this new topic than by going out swinging with some of our most embarrassing tales? Although some might have more than others.
Yeah. We may have a few tales for us today when it comes to embarrassing moments or embarrassing moments of a loved one. We'll say that. So
I just checked.
Second-hand
I don't.
embarrassment.
What'd you
I
say,
just
Zombie?
checked. I don't have a tail.
You don't have a tail?
No, my tailbone ends right where it's supposed to.
I believe it's TALE, not TAIL.
Well, look, I can't hear your spelling.
Oh well, you should. Anyways.
Yep, I guess that leads to me going first because Phoenix already made that executive decision before I hosted today.
Yes, I did.
So I will be stepping up to the stage first.
Wait. So, just to let everybody know, we have gone a little bit overboard with this, and we've decided to give ourselves like story titles to. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be like Tales of the you know Dark Side of the Crypt or whatever. Tales from the Crypt. There we go. I couldn't think of it, but yeah. So, anyways, that's all I
So
wanted to say.
I didn't give my title anything really fancy.
Oh.
But it is a story I have told before. Um and I still remember it clearly. And we laughed a lot because we were immature at the time. And well, this is a story that is a tale as old as time. A fart story.
Oh, nice.
And I call this story To Save My Own Skin. And so we begin our story back in middle school, in gym class specifically. And we were doing our things, our activities. And one of the activities was some sit-ups. And so we were there. I was next to another fellow classmate of mine. And we were a little closer than usual. So while we were doing these sit-ups, at one point, I kind of lifted myself in a certain direction, and he also lifted in a different direction as well. So we were like opposite each other, and it just happened. I let one rip, man. And there were people all around, but for some reason the stars aligned, and nobody really saw. Um, so when I let it rip, uh, it was like, a hustle and bustle of talking
Mm-hmm.
and laughter, and the second that happened, just utter silence. So I kind of sat there. Time paused, and I was wondering, this is it. This is happening. But I made a decision, and I don't know if it was the right one morally. And that was me looking over at my classmate or my PE buddy. He wasn't really my buddy, but whatever. They were all PE buddies. I looked
Right,
over
right.
at him, so I made it look like he was the one who was a perpetrator in the gas assault, and everybody looked at in my direction where like the fart was lit, but since I looked at him, and then he looked at me, and then kind of did a double take. So he he looked at me, and then he quickly looked away, and then he looked at me again to you know basically confirm to the fact that no way you can't be doing this to me. And
So,
he unfortunately dug his own grave by doing that, because that basically kind of played it off like I didn't do it and he did. Like the "oh no, did that happen" kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
But everybody misinterpreted that like it was him that did it and not me.
Oh my gosh. You
There was
literally.
there wasn't really much words to be said. I kind of just after a while, the coach was like, "All right, everybody, come on, let's just move on." And I don't know, man. I just got up and walked away. I was
Oh my gosh, that is freaking hilarious.
I
I've got
I walked away a smooth criminal.
smooth criminal. Arson, are you okay? Are you okay, Arson?
No,
uh,
I mean I pinned my my gas release on someone else.
uh,
So I mean, can you really say you've done that?
oh, absolutely. I mean,
Oh, really?
9 times out of 10, I claim mine, right? But every once in a while, when no one can tell who it is, you just kind of step back in the background and just kind of let somebody else get blamed for it.
Let,
So
let them squabble amongst themselves.
exactly, and
I
that has
usually,
happened.
I was like, I usually don't say anything, and I just let somebody go, "Oh man, who ripped ass?" And then I just kind of sit there like, I don't know, man. It's a mystery that.
I just point at some it was him. Let's get him, fellers.
Okay, so that being said, I've actually got a story that's kind of in line with that I wasn't sure I was going to tell until now. Um, and it wasn't so much about being totally embarrassed because I was younger. Okay, so I'll tell this and then we'll move on to something else. But that was a hilarious story. But
Yeah. No,
I'm co-
I
so
probably would have said it with more vigor, but since I'm a bit sleep deprived, that's unfortunately the quality you guys are gonna have to settle for.
well, we'll come back to you with another story and see how you are on that one. We'll get us to tell a couple stories and come back. So we'll be generous like that. So so okay, people that know me know that I'm a Christian, right? And when I was young, I grew up Catholic, and I had an uncle that went through seminary to become a priest. And during his seminary days, we would go out to my grandma's house and go to the church, which all of our family, like my aunts and uncles and everything, all attended this church. And so I was sitting next to my uncle in one of the pews. And oh, by the way, I'm calling this story the Divine Wind. Okay. Um, so,
Are all our stories going to have a similar theme today?
well,
Fart stories.
this
That
is
should
the
have just been what it was called.
this is the only one that's like this. Okay, for me. So okay, and so I was sitting there. We were listening to the, we were in church, just doing our thing, and I believe we just got done, standing and kneeling and standing and kneeling and sitting and kneeling and standing, everything Catholic teaches, which I'm not passionate because my family's Catholic, a lot of them are, and everything else. I grew up like that, so but anyways, so we sat down, and it was like completely silent. Now, picture a young boy sitting on a wooden pew who lets one straight onto wood. What do you think's going to happen when there's a nice little acoustic,
Yeah, I was about to ask, how are the acoustics?
Oh, the acoustics were great. Let's just say that. So
The choir.
I I let this out, and all of a sudden my uncle, who is, granted, he's a priest, but he's hilarious. Okay, so he was next to me, right, and of course I'm like it was loud. It was super super loud. Like everybody heard it. They did. And he's over here laughing his butt off. He's laughing so hard, his face turns red, and he's just it's just like one of those things that that just happens. But I believe that's the loudest fart that I've ever done in a public setting. so so yeah, it was quite interesting. I couldn't deny that one. Like that was definitely even with the acoustics, everybody knew who it was that did that one.
See, if at that point you should have just stood up and went, "Amen."
Hey, man.
Would have been
It was
funny.
him.
Do what?
It was him. Let's get him colors.
What would have been even funnier is if the priest would have been like, "Stand up and take a bow." Obviously he just let it go and kept on going, like, because it was like in that transition phase, where it just like got super quiet right before. Granted, luckily it wasn't during a prayer. So yeah, that would be one of my most, I guess, more awkward than more embarrassing, but it is pretty embarrassing. My mom was not too happy with me, but so yeah, that's my fart story, my divine wind.
Well, hey, look. I mean, doesn't Christianity as a whole teach you to break bread? I mean, you didn't break bread; you broke wind.
I did. Oh my gosh, I knew where you were going with that too. As soon as you
Hey,
said it.
Oh,
great
man.
minds think alike.
Right.
Unfortunately, so do stupid ones.
Another
And I'm not going to say which we are.
another title that would have worked with that. I would have definitely liked it. Breaking Wind.
Breaking wind. Well, I thought divine wind was like a good one.
No, that's a great title as well. Just,
Yeah.
the other one would have earned you brownie points because of the reference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't think about it though. But okay. So, Zombie, what about you, buddy?
So I've got two. And I'll start with one and we can just see where we go. So I'm going to call this I Didn't Make It.
Oh no! We've gone to step up from farting.
Yes.
So to set up this, those people may remember, I used to live fairly close to both Phoenix and Phenom.
Right.
Now, Phoenix, this is before you were there, so I would occasionally drive down to see Phenom and hang out. The easiest way for me to get there at that where I lived was through a country road. I'd take the country road out to an interstate and then take the interstate down. Well, it's a country road, so there's nothing out there. Not really. except for houses and stuff like that. So I'm like right in the middle, and I remember it clear as day because you don't forget this. You don't forget any detail. And as we've also said, I'm quite gassy. So
Boy,
I'm going. I know it's a shocker, right? So I'm driving over this bridge, and I go, oh, I got to fart. So I kind of do that little lift up you do when you're farting, and I go to fart. Well, it wasn't a fart. It was a shark.
Right
And
in the briefs.
right, and so I pinch it off as quickly as I can.
Oh,
Luckily, I don't sharp very much, but I feel the rest of it knocking,
Hergly,
if you will.
hergly.
Yeah. So I know it's not long before it's coming out. I started the process.
this
So-
baby's coming whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah. So I was only seconds away from the stop sign, and I remembered not too far there's an old abandoned barn. So I'm like, okay, I'll pull over, I'll step behind the barn, and at least try and clean myself up. Well, so I pull over to this barn, and it's by a couple houses, and I managed to scrounge around. I found a handful of napkins in my glove box, and a like one of those little bags, loaves of bread come in you buy at the store.
Yeah.
And so I took all this around the barn. I see there's a hole in this barn where like part of the wall is collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, hey, perfect. So I dip down it in this barn, and I go to start, I drop trowel trying to clean myself up, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. So I just kind of squat right there in the back corner and finish what I started. So I just shotgun this wall, because by this point there's a lot of force behind it, and it's not solid, if you catch my drift.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. So, and I'm just, as I'm doing, speaking, I just farted. And so I'm just sitting here, finishing what I started, and I'm just picturing it's the country. I'm picturing somebody's going to see some car sitting on the side of the road, and is going to think, oh, he must be having trouble, and is going to come looking. So I'm picturing some farmer's going to come walking around the corner and see me, shotgunning this wall with crap. So, luckily, I managed to finish what I started, get myself cleaned up, and tie it all in this bread bag, and get back in the car and start heading back down to meet up with Phenom. Well, so I get almost there, and like normal, I call him like, "Hey, I'm just pulling off the interstate," and I was like, "But you're gonna have to meet me at Walmart." And because, well, I'll just tell you later. And I didn't just buy a new pair. I bought a whole new pair of shorts, shirt, underwear, socks, baby wipes. I went in the bathroom and I just wiped myself down because I felt so nasty.
Oh gosh. Oh man. That's a really crappy story, man.
It was a really crappy time.
Now, listen to this, okay? We're gonna air this, and there's some random happenstance. There's gonna be one person like, "Oh, let's listen to this one. Embarrassing moments. That's gonna be great." And then all of a sudden, they're gonna listen to your story and be like, "You're the one. That
You
was my
crap.
barn."
The farmer. It was you.
It was you. my
That would
gosh.
be hilarious.
We'll get a message like, hey, it took like a long time for me to clean that up. It was nasty. I thought
You
some animal
punched
did
a
that.
hole through the wall of my barn.
Oh my gosh, that's flippin' hilarious. Oh man, I don't know how we top that one after that one, Arson.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I'll do my other one,
Oh,
and we'll see about that.
hold on. Well, let's move around and we'll come back to you so we can spread the love evenly with the storytelling if that's cool.
Is that a joke?
Perfect sandwich.
Yeah. So I believe before we do this though, I believe I see a hole in the side of a barn that tells me it's time for an ad break. So let's mosey on off to this ad break and we'll be right back. I promise I have chosen the perfect one for this. We'll be right
Oh,
back.
jeez, Phoenix, it smells.
It smells horribly. Oh.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just ship my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed.
If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's continue our crappy experience. And
experiences for sure.
Yeah, the farmer found us. She made Zhombi clean the side of the barn.
Yeah.
wow, that'd be. I was like, that'd be impressive considering that was at least 10 years ago.
Stains never left, man.
Yeah, the stain on his heart too. Like, goodness. All right, well,
And also the whole that's it's $150 less in our pocket. But you know what? Yeah, things have been settled and smoothed over, and now we can move on with our lives.
the story was worth it. So I'm just saying. So what's next for us, Arson?
Well, I guess this is embarrassing to me. It's more idiotic, and I will call this story. Don't put googly eyes in your nose.
Oh my gosh.
So our tale begins in well, I guess we could skip forward. I was going to go pick up a friend, but since at the time I didn't have a driver's license, I asked my mom for the favor, and she picks me up, and we go out to go pick up my friend,
Mm-hmm.
and I see while I'm in the back seat there, just chilling out, I see that there are a pair of googly eyes, and they're just there, and I mess around with them a bit, I fiddle with them, toss them around. Nothing better to do when you're just waiting. And so we arrive at my friend's house. And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go. I forgot something. I'll be right back." And I think that was the moment that kind of sealed my fate. Because if we just left, that would have been it, But I got the brightest idea to make myself look silly by putting them on my nose, on the holes of my nose, so it looks like I have eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that'd be pretty funny to me.
Well,
But
right.
the second he comes back, I've had my little laugh, whatever. I try and take them out like an idiot. I try and use my fingers instead of just blowing them out with my nose.
Mhm.
Oh no.
So I got one out. The other, though, went horizontal and right into my nose. I start
cow.
panicking to high hell, and I make it worse and push it even deeper. And this is terrible news, because you don't want something like that in there.
No,
And if
no.
my mom didn't spring into action, I would have had to take a trip to the hospital. So, she sprung into action. It like had me out, like hanging, like laying down sideways, hanging out the car. And she got like this. I don't know. It was like a bobby pin or something, and she basically pried it out.
Wow.
I mean, it was either that or like go straight to the hospital. It didn't hurt that much, but like I just saw like blood, and I was just like, oh no!
Oh my gosh.
But she got it out, and the blood everywhere aside, I was relieved as hell.
Yeah.
And my friend was just awkwardly sitting there while I was panicking like an idiot because I thought the end of my life was going to be because of this one thing.
One googly eye.
One googly eye.
So,
And that would have been the end of it, but my friend never let me live that down. And
Oh.
so most of if not all my friends now know, and now you guys know, and now anybody who listens to this episode knows
his
that I was an idiot who put a googly eye in my nose and nearly died because of it.
Don't worry. I could almost top that.
Please do.
Oh no, you're gonna. Granted, it'd have been funnier if you would have had to go to the hospital and then get like 15 doctors calling around you, like, okay, look at this guy. He stuck a googly eye up his nose.
Oh man, no, that really would have been an embarrassing story.
That would have been even better. But we get what we got, right? All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna save this story for last because this is my most embarrassing moment. However, I will go ahead and tell it, okay? And I shall call this story Tongue-Tied, the Tale of the Frosted Chime.
Oh no.
Okay, so this story begins. It was around Christmas time, and we weren't on school break yet. It was getting close to it, and I don't know where my other sister was. Have no idea. She was either sick or just didn't go to school that day. So, we were up in the morning, and they had, like, my mom or dad was watching, it was on TV. You know how they used to show, like, the Christmas story, like, all the time? Like, during, like, Christmas and all that? Well...
No.
No, have you ever seen the Christmas story?
No.
What?
No is what I said.
Are you
which is
serious?
What
I wouldn't shit you. You're my favorite turd.
What more confirmation do you want, man? No is no.
Okay, so to be fair, this story is not gonna be as good to Zombie for not being able to see it. But everybody else will know what I'm talking about, okay? So there's this scene. Have you like during that movie, you've heard the double dog dare you, triple dog dare you. You know what that is, right, Zombie?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that like even before.
Who doesn't know that?
Well, but that movie was made in '83, so I mean. But anyways, so it was showing on TV, and it got to the part to where they're in the schoolyard, and the one was like, "Nah, there's no way your tongue's gonna freeze to the pole, no way." And he's like, "Oh, yes, it will. Someone told me da 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 da," and there's like, "No way." He's like, "Oh, I dare you to do it." And no, you're kidding. He's like, "I double dog dare you." And he's like, "I triple dog dare you." And he's like, "Oh, the triple dog dare." So the kid did it, and his tongue stuck to the pole. It was below freezing, and it stuck. And they all went back into the classroom after recess was over, and he's just out there throwing his arms up in the wind, going, "Ah, help!" And the teacher notices, "Oh my gosh!" Calls the fire department instead of going out there with a warm glass of water, and just taking care of it that way. However, so our story begins there, and I was young. Okay, I was like third grade, maybe maybe. And my sister said I should go and have somebody at school and get them to do that at school. And I was like, no, I don't think that actually works. It's just a movie thing, you know. No, I don't think it works. And she's like, yes, it does. And so, mind you, this is all happening right where we're getting ready for school, right? We're getting ready to go out to catch the bus. And the way the bus worked is the bus went down our road, and that was our warning sign to get out there in the next 5 minutes. And then it would come back up the road and pick us up. We were like one of the last kids to get picked up to go to school, which was great because we were like the first ones off and the last ones on, you know, going to school. And, you know, so let that be known, that was around that time. So we went outside and she was like, no, it does work. I was like, no, it does not. And also, might I mention that we grew up in the country. Okay. And my dad had this metal bell, obviously, that was on this pole outside. And so, do you guys understand where this is going?
Yes.
Okay. So she's like, if you don't believe me, then stick your tongue to the bell. I was like, all right. So I did. Oh, it works. It works really well. However, instead of, sitting there, I was freaking out because the bus was coming up anytime. My sister ran into the house, and mind you, actually, I believe she got in trouble for getting me to do this. Of course, I was in trouble for being an idiot.
Really quick before you continue the story, how much tongue did you put on that bell?
It was like the front of it to about I don't know, probably probably like a fourth of the way on, maybe not that much.
I thought you would have been like extremely confident and just went all in.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so it was like the tip to like I don't know, like a little bit on, maybe not a fourth, but a little less than a fourth. So yeah. So here I am with my tongue stuck to this bell, right? And she runs in to tell my mom, and like they're like, oh my gosh, you know, and the bus isn't on its way back up yet, but I'm like sitting there like, oh, this is gonna be one to remember if I'm on this bell. And like, you know, there's moments in your life that you remember very vividly, right? This is one of them where it was like clear as day. So instead of sitting there waiting, I ripped it off.
Oh,
Yeah, and because I was freaking out, and I ripped it off. Oh my Lance, I couldn't taste food for probably weeks. Like, I mean, granted, I could taste some foods, but it was bad. Like, I ripped off a lot of taste buds onto that bell.
and they're still there to this day.
Well, funny you should say that, because like far into the summer, my tongue print was still there.
Oh!
Like, it really was. So, but that's not where our story ends, okay? The embarrassing part is still yet to come, which is really the part that's like so embarrassing that it literally sticks to me to this day. And so we come back out, like I run inside and get like something to, because my tongue was bleeding, obviously. So I was like, I took a napkin and like, or a towel, and, you know, just cleaned it up or whatnot. Yeah. And so we went back out, and here comes the bus. We get on the bus, and what do you think my sister's telling people?
You licked a bell.
And not only that, but we get to school. She comes into my classroom, and she says she came in there, quote unquote, to see if I was okay. And I know my sister listens to my podcasts. So, that being said, my sister, she's the one that comes into my channel, and she's the other Phoenix, my sister. And like, she came in there, and that's the part that embarrassed me the most. Is she tried to come in there, and I'm like shrugging it off, like, no, she don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. All the whole time, I'm like, no, she don't know what she's talking about. You know, and like, you know. But so that is where you think it would end. Okay, so having an embarrassing story like that, you know, moms tend to love that kind of thing. So whenever I meet a girl and we go out, and then eventually when I introduce them to my mother, she likes to break that story out right off the bat. So it leaves me in a really tough situation to where I have to like get that story out before my mom can. So I tell my idiotic story to the person of my possible love interest before my mom can. So I'm like, yeah. So there you go. That is my story of how I got tongue tied. Let me have it, guys.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Just every time you just gotta. Yeah, I licked a frozen bell.
Well, I don't put it like that, but yeah, kind of.
I was about to say if I start doing stuff like that, or I have to introduce uh someone to my mother before she could even tell them, yeah, I shoved the googly eye up my nose.
Oh, for an instance, Arson was Four Eyes.
I was more than just 4 eyes. I was Five Eyes.
Five Eyes? Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
I mean, I've heard of Five
considering-
Guys. But-
considering the glasses, the 4 eyes, my eyes, the glasses, and then the one googly eye in my nose.
I was counting both of the googly eyes, but you know, you got the one out.
Yeah, I managed to get the fourth. I don't know, man. If the other one went in,
Oh gosh. Oh, just breathe through your mouth. Just make sure you breathe through your mouth. But
I'm
yeah,
sorry, but you're gonna have to breathe through your mouth forever.
So let me ask
mouth breather.
So let me ask you, how does my story rate above yours? Does it rate above to you, or is it below?
I'd say it's definitely a more terrible situation to be in.
Could you imagine as a kid, like, just like, oh my gosh, the bus is gonna be coming any minute?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not resulting in possible death, but it is very that's a pretty bad place to be stuck in.
Yeah, well, it was at my age, it was pretty much death to me. Like, oh no, especially when my sister started off with the mouth. Like, she literally was coming in, like, came into my classroom just to, like I said, quote unquote, check on me. And yes, I'm doing air quotes right now. So yeah, I was gonna save that for last, but I guess I'll have to flip flop them because they kind of like fit in line with yours. So, but yeah, all right. So, what's next on the chopping block?
Yeah, what do you got, Zombie?
Well, so I was sitting here and trying to think of a third, and I was going to give you an option, and I had it, but now I forgot it. So I'm just going to go with the one that I remember, and I'm going to call this one "Nowhere to Go."
Oh gosh. Okay.
So I had a construction job for a while, and it was small. It was a small company. I worked most of the mornings. We showed up directly to the owner's home, loaded up the truck, and went out from there. Well, the way this house was laid out, his garage butted up real close to a privacy fence. So he didn't care if you had to go pee. He said, just go between the privacy fence and the garage. So that's setting this up.
Okay.
So this particular day, I was out doing a job by myself. It was just me. I don't know if he was out of town or whatnot, but so I come back to his place. His vehicle isn't there. His wife usually worked from home.
So may I ask
saw
a
her.
question real quick?
Yes,
Is this the boss that I went and picked up the grill from?
maybe.
Like he had it on the back of like a trailer or something, and we pulled it off, put it in the truck.
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay. I just need it for reference so I could like. Go ahead.
So his wife usually works from home. His vehicle wasn't there. Hers was. So I figured she was home. Not that that really matters, but it comes into play later.
Okay.
So I load the truck. I get everything done. And I'm starting to walk back to my car. And I realize that, okay, I've learned my lesson of this isn't a fart. I got a crap. So I'm sitting there thinking, and I go to my car and I start to like, okay, well, there's a gas station not even a half a mile down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even have to go far to get to a bathroom. So I go to my car and I'm like, okay, I'll just, I'll make it. And I start to sit down and I'm like, no, I can't sit down. I sit down. This is going to be bad news because it's coming. So I start to walk back to like, okay, well, I'm like, well, no, he said pee, not crap. So I can't crap in between it because I don't want him walking back and seeing this big pile of crap. And like, well, that's not an animal, because you can tell the difference between an animal crap and a human crap. So I'm sitting here panicking, trying to figure out what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Do I want to walk? And I'm like, no, I can't. I won't make that.
Clench the cheeks.
Well, that's what I'm like, okay, well, so I go back to my car and I'm like, I try, okay, well, maybe if I clinch and go really slow, I can sit down and make it. And I don't even get a quarter of the way sitting down. And I'm like, nope, I can't. So I walk up to the house and I knock on the door and ring the doorbell. No one answers. And finally, he has a ring. So he knew it was me. And he calls me and he said, hey, what do you need? And I was like, well, I have to go to the bathroom. He's like, well, he said, well, just go beside the ground. Look, no, I don't have to pee. He's like, oh, well, we're out of town.
Oh gosh.
So I'm just like, oh, okay. He said, that's what he said. There's a gas station now. There's like, yeah, well, I'll try and make it. So I walked back to my car, and at this point, I'm doing that duck walk.
Uh-huh.
Walking like a penguin.
Yeah. And so I'm standing by my car, evaluating what I can do, and I decide, okay, there's no option. I have to sit down and go somewhere. I can't walk anywhere. There's nowhere I can walk to close enough that I can hold it that long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. So again, I start to, I clench as hard as I can and try and will it back up into my large intestine. And I just slowly start to sit down. Well, I get not only you get far, and it all comes out. Not a little bit.
Oh my
though.
gosh.
Full crap. The full crap just comes all, and it's not just one of those things you can feel it just kind of sitting there in your underwear. No, it's squeezed out from the underwear and and I was wearing insulated jeans.
Oh no.
So it's got that like sweater type material in the interior.
Really holds it in for you, right?
Oh yeah, really holds that moisture in. And because it was cool, but not. It was cold enough but not like warm enough that I could like, okay, short weather. I still needed long pants and in the mornings, it was particularly cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pause about halfway sitting down with a look of absolute horror on my face as I take a full adult crap in my pants.
Oh man.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. So I just sit down. And I could just feel it just squish.
I'm gonna have to take off my headset here in a second.
So I go home. Luckily, I'm only about 10, 15 minutes from home. And
Must have been the longest 10 to 15 minutes of your life.
oh, well, so I turned on the radio and I found something, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on this and focus on the road. I'm not going to try to focus on the wet, squishy mess that I'm sitting in. So I get home and I get out of my car and I feel something
I bet you
in
do.
my pants rolling down my leg.
What?
Oh, legs. So one is just juice. I feel juice running.
Juice.
The other one is more solid. And I feel it roll it. So I kind of, when you kind of shake something out of your pants, I kind of shaking my leg a little bit. And this meatball-sized turd just drops out of my pants.
Wow.
Oh no, man.
And I'm like, okay. And I leave it there. I leave it there in the driveway.
Oh,
gosh. I throw away everything I was wearing. Shirt, pants, underwear, socks, shoes. It all goes in the trash.
Yeah, that seems like the logical choice.
And I tell people, and they're like, well, why don't you just wash it? And I'm like, you need to understand. This wasn't like a little bit of crap.
You can't just wash it away.
No.
I'm going to, every time, because, if it's a little bit of crap, you wash it, and after a while, you'll forget about it. I won't forget this. Every time I put that pair of pants on, I will remember I took a full adult crap in these pants.
Oh my gosh. Like I could see it like now. Zhombi, you ever see that was it Ace Ventura when he finds out that what's her face is a man, and like he gets in the shower and gets into like a fetal position, like no, I can see Zombie like doing that, like no.
I took a very long shower that day.
I bet you did. Whew.
And you still felt dirty even after.
So
No, I felt pretty clean afterwards.
So I've heard this story before, but the details is just oof.
So was this before or after the barn incident?
This was after.
I see.
May I make a suggestion to you?
Don't crap again.
Start carrying a 5-gallon bucket with you.
No, it's funny. It's funny you say that. So I would always, at work, if anybody's ever worked construction, if you want to get comfortable using the bathroom wherever, work construction.
Right.
Because a lot of times, if you got to go, you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've worked with a lot of people like, oh, I can only crap at home. Well, you say that till you're, working a construction job,
yeah,
and you got to go, and you're nowhere near anywhere to either get home or anywhere you can use a restroom.
Right.
So you get comfortable with like, oh, hey, here's a slightly isolated area. I'm just going to go pee here.
Yeah.
Or I used to carry the Gatorade bottles, the big ones. And I would try to keep an empty one in the vehicle.
Right.
Because, sometimes you got to pee. Well, if you're in a subdivision, there's not really anywhere you can find that's an isolated corner. So you walk up to the truck, you throw open the door, you grab the bottle, you pee in the Gatorade bottle, and then you dump it out.
Fair enough.
And you do the same if you got to poop.
Yeah.
Not in a Gatorade bottle. You don't poop in a
I
Gatorade
was gonna
bottle.
say, pop that up there and just go to town. Come on. Let's seal that tight. Jeez, yeah, I was gonna say either suggest a 5-gallon bucket and carry toilet paper on you at all times, or maybe some Depends, just in case. It just depends on the situation, right?
Yeah, it really does.
Whenever they invent teleportation technology, you're gonna have to send one to this man really fast, straight to his bathroom.
Yes, that's like
His
literally
bowels-
straight to the
His
pump.
bowels
Like,
cannot be trusted.
Well, that's another crappy story.
That's true, man. That's
back
amazing.
to back. All right, so let's see if Arson could top that with his last one.
Oh no way, no way, no how. There's no way I don't think any of us are topping Phoenix's crap story. Not Phoenix's
The tongue
zombies
story.
crap.
Oh
story.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
Oh, your tongue story is still really good.
the last one is the one I heard.
It definitely beat Zombie's barn incident, but it didn't beat this one.
No. All right. So what's up?
Well, since I haven't been alive as long as you two, don't really have much else, but I do have one more,
Okay.
and that is all the way back in very early elementary.
Ooh.
And I will call this story the cereal incident. And this starts in the morning. I was a pretty lazy kid, but I usually show up early to class. But
Yeah.
this time around I was late. I was like at least like safe guess like 15 minutes 15 to 10 minutes late. Classes
Okay.
were already basically starting.
Right.
Bells already rung. Before this, the night before, I was just a genius and ate like 3, 4, hell, maybe even 5 bowls of cereal.
Hmm.
With milk refills, by the way.
Should have called this story the serial killer.
Yeah. No, well, there definitely was a killer, but I didn't kill the cereal. The cereal killed me.
Oh.
And, I wake up, realize that I'm basically late. Hurriedly, I asked my mom to take me. We go. And I run straight for class. But what I neglected to notice was my body, specifically my stomach, acting very strange. I just shoved it down because at that point you're mostly focusing on not trying to get in trouble and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I make it to class. I go in. Yeah, I'm late. Hello, everybody. I sit down, and things are going about as usual. Until finally, my body will not be ignored anymore, and cries out in defiance by making me feel like absolute terror.
Oof.
Because it's happening.
Uh-oh.
That inevitable feeling that you have to puke.
Oh no.
And it was so bad that like before I could even like get up, I got up and ran to the teacher. And it was so bad. I had a whole plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna movie action sprint to the bathroom get this done and over with. But it was way too late for that. I don't think I would have made it to the hallway because I didn't. I ran up to the teacher, and it was like I was already making its way up. It was like when I said, I was like, "Oh, teacher, can I go to the bathroom?" And they're like, "Yeah, no, sure, man. You good?" And I didn't even grace them with an answer. I ran, but before I could even make it out the door, it just happened.
Oh my gosh.
Bam! Bowls of cereal and milk all over the door.
Oh, I was hoping you were gonna say you puked on little Sally or the teacher herself.
Oh no! Luckily, everybody was spared from my from my body's wrath. But the door wasn't so lucky. It drew the short straw.
Man, all I could picture when you talk about that is, have you ever seen Stand By Me?
No.
There's a scene in there that Will Wheaton's character talks like he's writing the story about this guy eating a pie. Like he's at a pieing contest, and he's a big guy, and to get revenge on everybody, he takes this like Epicac type of stuff, and then proceeds to eat a bunch of pies, and then pukes all over everybody. And then it starts like one person puking on another, and I just sit there thinking, like, if you would have got little Sally would have got little Jimmy, and little Jimmy would have got everybody else.
A chain reaction.
Chain reaction would have been amazing. But oh man,
that would have been amazing to me. I think that at that point my school life would have been over.
You would have had some nickname, would have
I would have been. This was very early on too in elementary. I would have been marked something. I would have been known infamously throughout the years until I moved on
as the puke boy or something.
Yeah, that was not. Yeah, no, I'm actually really happy. As funny as that probably would have been to tell you guys,
that would have been great.
That would have been a stain
man.
on my legacy.
Again, somebody would have been listening to this podcast, be like, "That's the boy that puked on me."
It's Puke Boy.
It's Puke Boy.
That wasn't me. It was Jerry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
but really, just wrap it up. Yeah, it happened, and I really panicked there. I was like, "Oh my goodness." And just out loud, I just screamed, "What have I done?" And I just,
really? You said that?
Yeah, I screamed that out loud, and I just bolted out the door.
Oh my gosh! Did you go
Sheer
home?
embarrassment. No, I ran somewhere. I don't know where I ran. I forgot, but I ran somewhere to hide. They found me eventually.
He ran to another school.
Yeah, I decided to get. Yeah, so sign here.
Wow, that's quite a
No,
story.
yeah, they found me eventually, and they called my parents, and Dad was working, so Mom picked me up. I was just waiting. I was like, eh.
Yeah, that's a good time to go.
And
home.
that was really terrible because there was also a girl I had a crush on in the class at the time, and surprisingly, she was the one out of the few friends that I had, and that like, yo, dude, you good?
Yes.
She was actually one that also went up to me and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm good."
I'd have played it off like, "No, but can you hold me?" No. Hold me.
Yeah, no.
Gosh.
I was just like, "No, yeah, I'm good."
All right. Well, that was amazing. I mean, not for Arson, because that straight up is a good embarrassment story, like really good.
Yeah, that is a tried and true embarrassing story. It isn't as ridiculous as the other ones were, or the other two were.
Yeah.
I would have much preferred to be put in those situations.
Yeah.
Because I'm a goofster, but I get easily flustered. I'm just.
Look, I was the kid that would go, like, when my sister was in kindergarten, I was younger than that, she's my oldest sister. But back in the day, we had these underoos, and people that don't know what underoos are, it was like superhero, like, underwear and t-shirt. I would, I stripped down in my sister's class one day to show everybody my Spider-Man underoos. So I don't embarrass easy when it comes to that, but I embarrassed the crap out of my sister that day. Apparently, I don't even remember it. My mom told me about that, but that's not the last one the last tale I want to tell you. I just wanted to share that with you to just for some reason.
Strip down in your underoos.
Yeah, I pulled down my pants and look at my underoos. I got
Behold! Gaze upon the glory of Spider-Man, peasants.
So this last tale I want to tell you, I thought of a couple different titles for it, and the first one I was thinking is the Almost St. Valentine's Day Massacre, or a Valentine's Day Brush with Eternity. So you guys take that either way you want. But our story begins, and I'm going to try to make this a little quicker. Our story begins, I was in 6th grade. Okay. And, we had this Valentine's Day dance coming up, and it was obviously on Valentine's Day. And I was like, I stressed to my mom, like, and my dad, that I did not want to do the dance. I was an awkward kid anyways. And I was like, I don't want to go to the dance. Well, then my stomach started hurting later in the evening, like bad. And she was like, "You're going to school. You're not getting out of this dance. You're going to school." And I kept complaining and kept complaining and kept complaining. And she's like, "All right, fine. If you drink some Alka-Seltzer," and this is not like, this is back in the day when we didn't have choices like Alka-Seltzer pills or flavored or whatever. This was the old school Alka-Seltzer that tastes like complete ass. Okay.
Nice.
And I don't really curse that much in at all, but that's the only way I can like describe it, is it tastes like ass. Carbonated ass, okay?
So, hey, I
Okay,
want to
here it
know,
comes.
how do you know what ass tastes like?
I don't, but I feel like that's what it would taste like. Okay.
Carbonated ass.
Carbonated ass. All right, so anyways, I knew you were going to that, Zombie. I knew.
So, an ass that's farting, that's what you're tasting.
Sure, like that day that turd rolled down your leg, that's what it,
That's what you tasted.
that's what I felt like I tasted, at least.
That's the ingredient they put in it. They went to the future and grabbed Zombie's meatball turd. Went back in time. Put it in there!
Oh my gosh. So I think I got our cold start. But anyways, yeah, so that day will ever go down in infamy as, like I said, the day I almost died. Because of, after I drank that Alka-Seltzer, my mom looked at me straight in the eyes and said, "You're still going to school." And I'm like, I just drunk this crap. It's not like I try to get out of school, So I didn't argue with her anymore. That night I was up most of the night throwing up bile. I was just puking all night. And my dad got up for work and he heard me. And he came in, he's like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "No, I'm not all right. Hold on.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
He just kneeled over a toilet. No, I'm not alright.
Yes, this is the face and how someone looks when they're all right.
Yeah.
That is basically just like that's like Zombie's friend coming home early from his vacation. He's like waddling. "Are you okay?" No, I'm not.
So at that point, my mom comes in, right? And she's like freaking out and she's like apologizing. "What's going on? Are you, what's the matter? What's the matter?" And I'm like, "I'm throwing up, and so my dad had to leave to go to work. But our neighbor, which was our cousin by marriage, she was able to drive us to the hospital. Now, not only did my mom sit there and be like, "I don't want to go to the hospital that's closest to us because they're not that great. Let's drive an extra 25 minutes, to the next hospital." And we lived out in the country, okay? So it took us a good half hour or so just to even get back into civilization somewhat. And so we get out there, right? And this whole time, my whole stomach is burning. Like it hurts all over. Every single little bump that's taken hurts. And lo and behold, here's this older lady driving super slow and hitting every bump there is. And so we finally get to the hospital. They get me in and check me in, and they told my mom I had an appendicitis. And this all happened on Valentine's Day, okay, guys? Just so you know. And so pretty much they got me in and got it out and got rid of it and all that stuff. And they told my mom, and they told both of us, that had I had been 10 to 15 minutes later, I would have died.
Ooh.
Because, well, back then, we're talking like 1989-ish, something like that. 88, 89. No, I think it was 89, 90. Anyways, so we're talking back then, like nowadays they can, like, they got the medicine and treatment to where they can like get all that out. But they said that my appendix was about to rupture, and had it ruptured, I probably would have died. And so my mom was really embarrassed about that, like over the years, like every year, because this is why, if you guys ever find out why I hate Valentine's Day, this is it. All right, because I almost died on Valentine's Day. And every year, except for the last couple of years, every year I used to bring it up to my mom. Like, hey, she'd be like, Happy
remember when you
Valentine's
almost
Day.
killed me?
Exactly. I've actually used that line. But every year it was something different. Like, hey, and then I'd wait and then just like run it by her like later on, so she thought I'd forget, but I didn't. But this year she actually is the one that brought it up. I didn't. So, but yeah, that is the story of my brush with eternity on Valentine's Day, because I almost died on that day. Had I been 10 or 15 minutes later getting to the hospital and them getting me in there and getting the surgery, or rushing the emergency surgery and stuff. So,
Well,
yeah.
If the most unfortunate thing happened, you would have had a Valentine. It would have been with the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. All right. So that being said, we got time for one more story.
That's awesome. And two embarrassing stories that nearly resulted in death.
Right.
Zombie, you better. Zombie's either gonna break the trend or he's gonna finish us off with one more crap story.
He's like, let's go for the trifecta.
Oh,
the
you know me too well. So I'm gonna call this one Between a Rock and a Hard Place.
Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
So, continuing with the theme, this is one involving crap. I did not crap my pants this time.
Oh, okay.
But so we're building a deck in a residential suburb.
That's a nice deck you got there.
Yeah, I trimmed the bushes, makes it look bigger.
Okay.
So, and it was one of the times that I'm like, I stop and I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't see anywhere I can go, because it's just the way it's laid out is the back of this house faces a road coming into the back. It's just there's nowhere I can go. And my bossman looks at me, he's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Well, I gotta crap. I gotta go bad." And he said, "Well, if you gotta go, take the truck." And I'm like, "There's nowhere close." He's like, "Well, I don't." He's like, "I don't know what to tell you." He said, "Just figure something out, but don't take forever because we're working here." So I noticed that the mini barn has a bit of space in between it and the neighbor's privacy fence.
You and Barnes.
Yeah, what the heck is going on here, man?
So I take the job box, which is a big plastic box, and I wheel it in front of. So if you picture the mini barn and the privacy fence, you got two openings. One at the front of the mini barn, in between the barn and the fence, and then one in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So I wheel it in front of the opening at the front of the mini barn, in between it and the privacy fence, and I open the lid to create a wall. Well, there's nothing I can put on the back end to wall it off. So I'm like, okay, well, three ways is three ways of blocking side is better than two. So I run up, I grab some napkins, which I by this point have now kept in the truck because
why.
yeah. So, and I walk in between the customer's mini barn and privacy fence, and I take a crap right there. And it's not a small one by any means.
Oh no, we wouldn't expect any less.
Nah, not at all.
And so, and the kicker is, so the back of this property, like I said, a cul-de-sac comes right into it. So instead of you have like a cul-de-sac and a house is right at the end of it, facing it, it's the other way around. Like it was built, the one behind was built after. Well, the house that was there, a window was looking right out to where I was crapping. And so I'm just sitting here watching this window, hoping to God no one comes in that window and looks out and just sees me taking a crap in this person's yard. And the only thing, so, I finish my business, I wipe, and I just cover it with a couple leaves. And
Genius.
nobody will ever find it.
Oh my gosh, that part right there, I just covered it with a couple leaves. Just
The perfect plan. They'll never know.
I wonder if they found it, and looking around and went, what the? Who crapped in my yard?
Freaking Bigfoot came and visited and then covered up his own crap. Wow.
Or maybe some animal came along and cleaned up my evidence.
Probably. Some dogs are like, oh, yum! Oh, gosh, I can't.
It's like peanut butter.
Ew! It's like peanut butter, just only nuttier, which is kind of weird.
Oh no.
That's crazy, man. 3 crap stories.
Yep.
That got me. That's hilarious. That doesn't surprise me though, coming from you. I feel like we're gonna have to do a part 2 of this because I guarantee he has 3 more to tell us. So.
Oh, I have plenty of crap stories.
The quadrilogy.
The crappening.
The crappening. Oh gosh.
You know what? On top of that list that we gave you, you should also just pack a can of Febreze as well.
Yeah, I would. I definitely would. At least some something,
Some poopery.
Poopery. Yeah, you're gonna need something because that's a man. We can't top that story anymore, so we're just gonna have to see ourselves out here in a minute.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'd say, and this is just real quick, is I farted myself out of my own bed.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I've been around you, so
How powerful are your ass blasts?
So when I moved in,
the Dragonborn, Fushroda.
Instead of shouts, it's farts.
Oh! Shockwave.
So just real quick, when I move, my mom can't help me lift stuff, so she'll set up my kitchen.
Yeah.
While we're still unloading stuff. So she said, "Hey, I'll go to the store and buy you some groceries." I'm not going to turn that down.
Well,
Now, at this point in time, my budget was limited, and so she said, "Well, hey, I can buy some of that lactose-free milk because I was lactose intolerant."
yes.
And
Zombie
lactose-
definitely should have led off with the whole like not milk friendly.
I kind of figured that it was a given,
Yeah.
but so she said, "Hey, I'll buy you some of that lactose-free milk, and you can let us see if it works." And so, a couple nights later, I'm getting ready for bed. I'm like, "Hey, I'm a little hungry," so I had a couple bowls of cereal, and so I'm laying in bed after my cereal, and it's milk. I start farting.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't particularly spectacular fart in terms of length or volume. It was just an average fart.
Mhm.
Except for I'm sitting there a couple minutes later, and the smell wafting up from in between the sheets and me is so heinous. I roll open the sheets and walk out of the room.
Jeez.
It was so bad, and I went and promptly pulled it out. Poured the rest of the lactose-free milk out. I'm like, no, I can't do this to anybody.
And for you lucky single ladies out there, Zombie is available.
I am.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
When he drinks milk, his farts basically turn into acid clouds.
And so, and you remember the story that Phenom told us about Ted, the bringer of all death and destruction
Yes,
powers
yes,
of Cloud
yes,
Kill.
yes.
That was worse.
Oh gosh. That's
Mine never came close to his.
yeah. Wow.
Just for comparison.
And if you guys are wondering about that, that was the last episode that we did, talking about that. But oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. Well,
It
on that
was-
note,
It was something.
definitely
Yeah,
was something.
That was interesting. Thank you thank you for sharing those.
Really
It
crappy
must
stories.
have taken a lot of courage.
Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary for me?
Oh no, here it comes. Oh really?
It runs in my genes.
More than once.
Diarrhea runs through your veins.
More than once, that's the thing. Like when you have one story like that, that's crazy. But when you have two, wow. All right.
And then
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Gosh. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know how to end this.
You can't. It's
It's just
You
a
can't-
crappy
you can't
thing.
come back from this. It's over. We might as well give up now.
Might as well flush the toilet.
I feel like it's time.
We should do a sequel, but we should bring the people who haven't been here so they can pay their just dues.
I agree. Oh, I 100% agree on that one.
We are not going to be the only ones who've done embarrassing stories and the rest get away scot-free. Hear me now. I know you're listening. Your time will come. It's coming. You just don't know it yet.
That's
will
right.
be
We
a
will be
reckoning.
back, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know when. It could be a couple months, maybe weeks, maybe years. But we will be back, and they will tell their stories, even if I have to drag them kicking and screaming. Thank you for joining us today. We've come to the end of our time. If you want to find out more about Phoenix, because honestly, it's mostly just his links. It's not really us. If you want to find out more about the podcast, though, it's all in the links down. You can figure all that out. Buy our non-existent merch. And we will see you next week, maybe. I don't know. This was an episode that Phoenix wanted that we had to delay it because I originally wasn't supposed to be here.
Yes, we had to have him a part of this. This was his
Yeah,
idea.
I just had the glorious idea of having this subject in, and now it's here. I was hoping I would be out of the crossfire, but I got caught up in it, stuck between Phoenix and a bell and zombies.
Crap.
Terrible, terrible.
So yeah. On that note, I believe
There are no words. There are no
yeah.
words.
There really isn't. There really isn't. So
Yep. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys later.
pull the lever, Kronk.